Hello everyone, this is Talk Shop Crypto. I'm Kyle.
I'm Tyler.
I'm Nick.
And this is where we talk everything crypto. But first, let's pour some coffee. If you gotta. So we're gonna talk shop today. Nick, what do you got for us?
Well, I got a tweet from Peter Brandt. Peter Brandt said that most altcoins are going to be forgotten in 5 years. So this has kind of become a big story on newsbtc.com, where he said, on Twitter, he said, and I quote, "When will altcoin junkies understand that Bitcoin is the crypto with real and lasting value? Altcoins are to Bitcoin what lead is to gold." It's pretty serious.
Doesn't sound one-sided at all.
It doesn't. And then someone kind of pushed him on it, and then he goes, "Actually, Litecoin and Ethereum have far more going for them than the rest of the junk pile. 99% of other cryptos will be forgotten 5 years from now."
I could almost agree with that statement.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people, they get tied up into Bitcoin maximalists and that Bitcoin will be the only one that will survive. But I think there will be a handful of altcoins that survive. It's just right now, I think...
Like he said, Litecoin and Ethereum.
Yeah.
So maybe
just the three.
Just
the Holy
the
Trinity.
trifecta.
No, I think there's over 2,500, 3,000 coins in an entire crypto market, and there's no way that all of them can succeed.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I almost agree with that. Yeah, I mean, the ones that are gonna last are just gonna be the ones with utility, the ones that are actually. You can go onto the GitHub and you can see how many commits that the project is gathering from just people on the open source code, the developers, who's developing it, who's furthering the project. There's a lot of dead coin. Didn't you say you found like a dead coin website?
I found a website called deadcoin.com, and it has a list of all of, or not probably not all of them, but a lot of dead coins. It's got 35 pages worth of dead coins you
still
can
adding.
scroll down. Yeah, still adding. Oh yeah, I saw an entry from just a few.
It's probably all the ones I invested in. So.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good coffee.
Yeah, I like it.
What brand are we drinking today?
It's White Monkey, I think, again.
White Monkey.
We keep sticking with the White Monkey. I think next week we'll get us something
It's
a
like
little more
he's gonna take
exotic.
a white bat.
Guano.
Guano.
You just tell me we're not drinking guano.
Chicago. That's it. You're out of here. But
Back to the Bitcoin.
altcoins.
Altcoins, yeah.
But yeah, I could definitely see that. I don't know. What do you think?
A lot of them were scams on deadcoin.com.
Yeah, that's true.
But so in this article in NewsBTC, they talked about. I'm new to the crypto space, so I don't really know that much about it. But they said like a bunch of altcoins that were in the top 10 5 years ago were coins like Purecoin, Namecoin, Feathercoin, Novacoin, Mincoin, Devcoin, Terracoin, and Aphrodite coin. I'd never heard of any of those.
Nova Coin.
So those were like the top performers from 5 years ago. Like that's not that long ago.
Well, and I think there was a chart somewhere online. I can't remember. I saw it probably 4, 5, 6 months ago. But it basically took all the top 10 or 15 coins of each year that ended, and it was like over the past 10 years, there was literally only like 2 that have been in the top like 10 or 15 over those years, and it was Bitcoin and Ethereum and Litecoin. And that was pretty much it. The ones that are staying there now, I think it's like XRP and something else. But I'm looking at the top 100 right now. Bitcoin is at a market cap of $189 billion. Ethereum is at $19 billion. XRP is at $11 billion. And I'm generalizing here. I'm not stating actual market caps unless you want the actual dollar amount and cents. But, I think the coins, this is just my personal opinion, but I think the coins that are going to survive not only have the utility, but it's going to be these pretty much top 20 to 50 coins, Like if I go to the second page of this coin market cap, I mean, listen to these market caps. We were just talking about 189 billion, 100 whatever billion, 11 billion. Like right here, we got, not saying they're bad coins, but we got Electronium, 34 million. We got Phantom, 34 million. These are market caps. We got Dent, 33 million. Knowles, 32 million. And then Knowles is like 4 million in volume, for 24 hours, which is nothing. I mean, 4 million is quite a bit. I'm saying there's a lot more coins out there that have higher volumes, but you know, we got this Electronium that only has $156,000 in volume, which is, I mean, you know, you get some of these institutional investors, and that's fractions of a percent of what they invest in a day or whatever trade with. But I think going on to our next, there's an article, and actually it's an article that's posting a tweet that Willie Woo tweeted out. He's pretty cool. He sheds a lot of light on the crypto space and has a lot of valuable input. You should go check him out. I'm looking at it. It's at WOONOMIC, so Woonik, I think. Just Willie Woo.
And if you go on our Twitter page, Talk Shop Crypto, we will retweet all of these so you can go back and look at it.
Yeah,
later.
so that way they will be easily accessible to you, and I'll try to put links in the description on YouTube so that way you can see it. But I'm looking at this top 200 coins list. I don't know if you all can pull it up on your computer quick enough. If you can, it's fine. But basically, Bitcoin is going up in a parabolic move, and almost all of the altcoins compared to Bitcoin are basically going into 1 point. I don't know if you all are seeing that, but basically Willie Woo says crap runs downhill. I'm not going to say the word, but and you know, in the bull season edition, basically when Bitcoin, I think, just broke, this is September 3rd, Bitcoin just broke a 70% dominance in the market of the entire crypto market, and CoinMarketCap takes into account all of even the dead coins. So people are speculating that Bitcoin is almost 90% dominant in the whole crypto market. So it has a huge swing, and we talked about this before. I don't know if it was on the first episode or not, but everything runs through Bitcoin. Like if you want to get to a certain coin, you either go through Bitcoin, Ethereum, or Litecoin, and most people go through Bitcoin. And so the thing is, you know, as these, and the reason that you see this downward slope, it's not that the coin's dying, it's just the prices aren't going anywhere because Bitcoin is moving up. So if your coin is sitting at 20 cents, 19 cents, and then Bitcoin goes from 9,000, 10,000, 11,000, 12,000, your Bitcoin comparative is going down if you were holding that. Does that make sense?
Yep.
And so that's why you're seeing a lot of this go down compared to Bitcoin. So basically, this chart is stating you should be, you know, this is financial advice, and we're not saying that you should be holding Bitcoin. We all hold Bitcoin and altcoins. We're not maximalists here, but generally the chart is saying, hey, if you've had Bitcoin, you would be profitable. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much, you know, what's going on with the altcoin market. It's not dying per se. It's just it's separating itself from Bitcoin. Usually when altcoins go up, you'll see Bitcoin kind of treading sideways. That's why we saw a spike here in the last week when Bitcoin's kind of hovering around the 10,300, 10,400, 10,200. You saw some altcoins starting to spike, but man, once Bitcoin started to drop to the 95, 96, 9700 dollar level, when Bitcoin only goes down 1, 2, 3%, altcoins go down 10, 15, 20%. That's just how they get hit, because when Bitcoin gets hit, since the whole market is basically reliant on Bitcoin, you'll see the others get hit. Moving on, Nick, what do we have with this Amazon rumor going around?
Yeah, so this predictive analytics company called Syndicator, spelled C, asked a group of analysts which company is most likely to launch a cryptocurrency to compete with Facebook's Libra. So the headline of the article we're looking at is on dailyhodl.com. The headline of the article says Amazon crypto rumors surface. I think that's a bit of a misleading headline because there really aren't any. I mean, it's just what the analysts think. It's not like
speculation. Yeah,
it's just pure speculation. Amazon has not said anything about this. But actually, most of the analysts polled said none. That was the top answer. 24.39% of those polled said there would be no companies to create a crypto to compete with Libra. But then Amazon came in second at 22.62%. And then you got Google, Apple, Walmart, Microsoft, Alibaba, Samsung, IBM, Twitter. So a couple of things stood out about this, and if you guys want to jump in, feel free. But Apple is fourth on the list. Now, Apple just came out with Apple credit card.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think I mean, I don't know the ins and outs of it, but I think that could put them in a better position to create something like this.
Yeah. I think, although I will say, I think Apple, I could get this wrong completely, so do
Most
your own
likely,
research.
so.
But I think they're not allowing crypto investments with their credit card.
No.
I think they're completely prohibiting it. Not saying they're not going to create their own digital solution, just saying that I don't think they're allowing it.
Yeah.
That wasn't me coming at you.
Oh no. I feel personally attacked by that.
Oh, I know. You'll get over it.
Yeah.
The one Mac user in the room.
Yeah.
But yeah, Facebook, for y'all that don't know, which anyway, Facebook was trying to come out with a cryptocurrency that was called Libra, and basically they were trying to come out with a wallet that was, I think it was, what is it, Calibra? They were coming out with a wallet name, but the actual crypto was going to be Libra, and it was going to be a stable coin, and it was going to be backed by resources, fiat currencies, this and that. And they're trying to make it basically the internet money, and Congress was like, they realized how much power this would have. But I don't know if any of you listeners will remember, these guys might not know, but Amazon way back in the day, there's proof of this online. They actually bought domain names of like Amazon Ethereum, Amazon Bitcoin, Amazon Litecoin. So for a while there, people were speculating like, is Amazon going to accept crypto payments? And so until that day comes, and we have these third-party apps that will take your crypto and then convert it to fiat, so that way you can purchase things on Amazon. But I think if you were able to come up with, if a company was able to come up with a digital asset that could be seen from around the globe as, yes, this is a widely accepted cryptocurrency. I mean, it could be like the Libra. Because Amazon is it one of the biggest companies in the world right now?
Yes.
If not the biggest?
It's not the biggest, but I think it's the most valuable. I'm trying to remember how it's worded. It's the most valuable, definitely what you call logo, I guess you'd say.
Yeah.
It's the most valuable brand right now, but it's not the top.
This isn't me saying anything. This is just me kind of shooting the crap, but it almost seems like these companies, because I know Walmart's trying to create something, JP Morgan's trying to create something. We're almost saying we have fiat currencies distributed by central banks, but it almost seems like companies now are trying to come out with their own currencies due to this blockchain technology coming out, and now they're able to actually track all this digital currency assets, see where it's going, who's sending it, but they can manage it. And I don't know. It's almost like I sense it in the air that it's almost like they're creating a new form of currency, but now instead of banks being able to own it, corporations are going to be able to own it. Well, I don't know. What do y'all think about that?
Well, I think Amazon specifically is in a good position because they've been, like you said, they've got the domain names for that, and they're really developing blockchain technology. So it would be just so easy for Amazon, I think, to have their.
What do
own.
you think governments would do though? Do you think they would try to stop it? Can they stop it? Would that be like against?
They stopped Libra.
Well, they're trying to. Basically, they've basically halted it right now.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you were able to create a genuinely decentralized currency, but you somehow hedged it in your favor, I don't know, decentralized and hedging in your favor don't really go together, but somehow like that, I don't know how the government per se would be able to stop something like that. Like Bitcoin, like when Libra was out, the congressmen and women were basically saying, we don't like Libra, but we're fine with Bitcoin. Basically, that's what they were saying. So, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. That's such an area we really haven't got too much into.
It's such a foreign idea.
Yeah,
right now.
I think that's part of the thing. It's like they don't know what to do with it. Like it's scary for them.
And we talked about that last week. Could you imagine, like, the questions that would be asked at a congressional hearing with that?
Yeah.
Like,
What is a Libra?
what is the Libra?
I mean, that would be crazy. This would probably never happen, but it's like instead of the government paying for like our military supplies, tanks and airplanes with US dollars, they're like, hey, accept this Amazon and Libra coin Got a couple on the
An
back.
Amazon gift card, you can redeem it in US dollars or in
got a
For
couple
whatever.
got a couple spare ones in my wallet. Let me toss them at you real quick.
How cool would that be if you could redeem gift cards like Amazon or Apple gift cards
For
or
Bitcoin.
Walmart or whatever? And yeah,
Yeah.
If I could,
That would be
oh
neat.
man, every gift card I get would be in Bitcoin.
Yeah. We should make gift cards that you could purchase crypto with. There's an idea.
there's an idea.
Can't air that part of the show.
We're gonna cut. Give me the
Yeah.
timestamp.
We'll
be
send this to our lawyers.
It's gonna be sitting right next to the Applebee's card. So be watching out for when you go.
Here's
to
some
Walmart.
financial advice. Don't take our ideas.
But luckily, we've got that on tape, so it's intellectual property now.
So, well, segueing, speaking of our cards being in Walmart, but speaking of Walmart,
Yeah.
Walmart has actually dipped its toe. I don't know if you all are familiar with this, but Walmart's dipped its toe into the blockchain. Actually, with B-Chain, it's a supply blockchain. Basically, they have these little tiny chips that will read where products are made, what temperatures they're at, and it's all written on a immutable ledger, the blockchain. And so when you basically, let's say you get this medicine from somewhere that it was made, and then it's shipped across the sea to another country, you can see what temperatures it was exposed to, how long it was in these containers, where was it manufactured, who manufactured it. So that way you know, because we don't really have these systems in place. We have, basic guidelines of what medicine food need to be refrigerated as, but who knows if the refrigeration goes down for 24 hours and then they get it back up, on these ships or whatever. But long story short, basically it looks like Walmart is trying to get itself more into the blockchain space and wants to start incorporating this technology into their food. So like, let's
that's
say
interesting.
if there's like a tomato grown somewhere, it'll know what pesticides are basically sprayed on it, what chemicals were used on it, where it was picked, what temperatures it was exposed to, and like if there's any insects,
Fruit, that'd be very good for fruit.
Yeah, I feel like that could be real.
Fruit. Yeah, that's
That
what
could be
they're
a
using it
game
for. They're
changer.
using it for mangoes and beef and pork specifically is what they're for
Interesting.
now. Yeah.
And I think this could even go back to like there's such a big deal with like sweatshops, segueing from fruit, but now we would know exactly where clothes come from, where they were made, and then we could see who made it and see the wages. So like if there's these foreign companies that are taking advantage of these sweatshops with kids, women, underpaying them, we could see that.
Make sure that it's all fair trade.
Yeah, and
Yeah, that'd be
especially,
awesome.
I feel like that would almost hinder like the black market with like leather, ivory, all that.
It could.
That's
Interesting.
Just speculating, but it's, it's got some potential. I feel like.
Yeah. Yeah, on that list of companies that were, that we talked about just a second ago, the analysts figuring out which companies are going to come up with the new crypto, Walmart was the only retailer on that list. I don't know if you guys noticed. They were all the others were tech companies. Walmart was the only retailer.
Interesting.
So I think we're coming out like, they say one of the biggest reasons that NASA is so important, or space exploration is so important, is because the technology they develop actually becomes commonplace. And I think it's the same thing with Bitcoin. Like one cool thing about like cryptocurrencies is that now Walmart can use blockchain technology to see where their mangoes are coming from. Like, I don't know. I just think that's really cool.
That is
and
really
probably
cool.
in the future we'll be seeing a lot more companies use
Well,
blockchain, not just for cryptocurrencies, but for...
I think that's going to encourage a lot too, because now instead of because we are going towards a more healthier and more humane way of things with coming to products, goods, and services, that could really help out with like with competitors having to pick this up. So now would you be more inclined to buy a mango from, let's say Walmart that says, hey, it came from this country, it was on this farm, it was exposed to these temperatures, and then you go, like I hate to say it, but you go to like a little shop and it's like it's kind of, withering away and it has nothing. I feel like there'd just be like more comfort from the consumer knowing that they're buying something they know where it came from.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm reading through the article, and right now it's talking about how Anheuser-Busch had been using it before where that technically would be the other retailer, I guess. But they're
Yeah.
like the company, obviously, that makes Budweiser and other
Yeah.
fine beverages that people like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're using it in similar reasons in African farmers to track their agricultural
Yeah.
product sales. So,
And it even in this article talks about a few years ago there was some problem with contaminated milk. Over 300,000 people were severely affected both physically and mentally. So they're saying like this could be a direct way to prevent stuff like that. Like what you said, making sure that all the temperatures are regulated and it's not exposed to anything.
Yeah. That could be like that could help stop like all this. I feel like there's been a lot of like salmonella outbreaks
Yeah.
in the food. You know,
Yeah.
what I'm
They
talking
keep
about?
recalling lettuce and stuff like that.
Yeah, and it's like if they were to have this and like let's say a head of cabbage or lettuce or whatever came back and said it had, they would be able to go back to the exact portion of the land that this happened in and investigate it. Well, it would be better for the company because they wouldn't lose as much product.
Yeah.
Because when these kind of outbreaks happen, they just take a guess and they're like, this batch from this batch could have contained it, so we're recalling all of it. And these companies are losing tens of millions of dollars doing that. So if they're able to do this and only lose $10,000, $100,000, I feel like it'd be a no-brainer.
It also says the time needed to trace the firm's provenance, so like when they're looking for stuff, has dropped from 7 days to just 2.2 seconds. So another big time saver. Time is money, so they're saving money on that too.
That's crazy.
wow, that's awesome.
The future. This
The future, man.
it's happening right now. You know,
Microchips and fruit. It's the future.
Microchips and fruit. that needs to be a T-shirt on one of our Top Shop shirts. Microchips and fruit.
Again, it's on the air, so we have intellectual property rights for that.
Trademark. You'll be getting a letter from us soon.
Yeah.
So what's our next thing we're going to today?
So this next thing is a little bit not fruit-wise like chips. It actually deals with lending, and actually Binance tomorrow in about 3 hours. I think Binance is an exchange. If you all don't know, it was founded I think in China. Anyway, that doesn't matter. It's Binance, and they're coming out with a lending platform, and it looks like these lending platforms you're going to be able to basically go into a contract with Binance and say, hey, I want to lock up my Bitcoin for a certain time period, and then you're going to get an interest on that. So basically you are letting them loan out your crypto. You're not allowed to touch it in that time frame, but in return you're getting interest on top of that.
So if you borrow crypto,
interesting.
yeah. So if you borrow, sorry, I'm the dummy on this program, but so I'm gonna ask these questions. But if you borrow crypto from Binance, what is the benefit? Like, if it grows, do you like keep the difference?
Yeah, so I think it'd be the same as like, I don't know the ins and out of it totally, but I think it's the same as like if you're in a futures, like you're shorting and longing. It's just basically you take the crypto, and then whatever amount it grows, that's what you get back, but you get to keep a portion.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
So then it's like you're like making quick money without really risking anything. Pretty much, is that the benefit?
You're risking, but yeah, I mean it could. It would basically take someone who only has a portfolio of $1,000 if they wanted to try to trade $5,000, or they would do that, but the people lending it would be insured, if that makes sense. But it looks like they're coming out with 6 assets so far, and that is for you to be able to lend percentages on. It's Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, Binance Coin, Ethereum Classic, and Tether. And so I think here are the percentage rates. I'll post the link.
So the only point I have to wonder, and it happens with money sometimes, but not nearly as. I'm trying to find out how to say this. Okay, the Bitcoin drops and rises very quickly. So if I loan out my Bitcoin where it's sitting at 10,696 right now, and tomorrow it hits 9,000. And when I go to get my maturity, is it going to come out at the 10,696 that I originally invested in, or at the 9,000 and I get 8% of the 9,000?
It could be something where that they only determine what you owe in the exact amount of Bitcoin that you send. So like if you lent out 0.5 Bitcoin, you're responsible for that, whatever that is.
Okay. Well, I'm just trying to figure out how do they calculate the interest based off my original investment, like 10696, or Bitcoin's now worth only 8,000 2 days later.
I'm gonna let the Binance team figure that out.
Because that's what I'm curious about. Because this is basically, because we understand the inflation rate of money. Money does that constantly.
I would say.
Yeah.
You're taking. It's not the same as a bank. You know, we know that the United States dollar.
It's insured, but
it's insured, and we know that tomorrow, hopefully, but 99.999% sure it's going to be worth $1 tomorrow. Yeah. So you take out $10,000, I know I'm going to have to pay 6%, whatever. It's not going to go down. But with this, it's a whole nother.
Well, on the other side of this, with
open up a can of worms,
getting your interest rate back, and it's looking like 8.5% at this amount, 8%, like that's pretty great. It's basically a crypto CD. Is all this is.
Yeah.
It's literally a crypto CD. But I'm just trying to figure out how that works for day to day drop, rise and fall. So
according to Binance, like if you were to lend out your tether, and I'm going to quote coinspeaker.com, we'll post the article in the description for you to read along with us. But basically, this is what it says word for word. For USDT, users will have access to both 14 and 28-day maturity terms. For the former, access will only allow a total maximum of 20 million USDT with an individual cap of 1 million USDT at an annualized interest rate of 8%. For the 28-day term, the total maximum becomes 10 million tether with an individual maximum of 500,000 at an interest rate of 8.25%. So if you know numbers, you would understand exactly what I said. But
what if you don't know numbers?
Well, then you probably shouldn't lend your crypto out.
That is definitely not financial advice.
But basically what it's saying is it looks like when you lend out your crypto in these terms, you're going to get like 8% on Tether, 7% on Ethereum Classic, 6% on Cardano, and with their BNB, that's the Binance coin that Binance made. It looks like you'll get 10%. These are the high ends. These aren't accounting for like market fluctuations. And then with Bitcoin, let's see here. It says there's a 3% annualized interest rate. A long time ago, I thought I heard you were able to get 16%. So I guess if it's a month, that could add up to a year. But you could earn up to like 16%.
That's insane.
A year just lending out your Bitcoin. Now, this is where I have to put my 2 cents in. I know this isn't financial advice, but advice. I do not advocate leaving your money on exchanges, because if you leave your money on an exchange, this is on the internet, and as you all have heard, seen, we've posted, exchanges are vulnerable to hacks, and hacks is where these hackers can actually take the cryptos. So when you leave your money on these exchanges, you are opening yourself to our vulnerabilities, opportunities of your crypto to be taken. There's a big movement going around that basically says if you don't have your private keys, it's not your Bitcoin, because you have your public address and your private address. And when you have it on an exchange, you don't get a private address. You only get your public, because the exchange is what holds it. So, it's a risk. That's what you're willing to take. If you want 8% a month or a year, whatever it is, you're taking that risk.
Yeah, it seems to defeat the purpose of cryptocurrency.
A little bit.
It's like really secure. Like that's one of the main things.
Yeah, it's making
really
people their own bank. Letting them take on the responsibility of being that bank. But with being that bank, if you lose that money, that's on you. Yeah. And that's a big thing right now, and that scares a lot of people away. But if you're gonna keep your crypto somewhere, we recommend that you put it on a cold storage wallet. I need some more coffee.
And some English lessons.
Like a Ledger Nano S or X, Trezor. There's all sorts of. We'll put the links in for the Ledger and the Trezor, but other than that, we're gonna go to staking options. Tyler, do you know what staking is?
A little bit, but I'm fairly certain you're about to school me on it. So, all ears.
So this is a interesting way to actually gain interest on your crypto that's not lending. Basically, you are locking up your tokens, coins, whatever you want to call them, in a specific developer wallet, and basically you will be paid out a dividend for holding these cryptos. And these, we have the top 10 here on I can't speak right now. Cointelegraph. So basically, starting off, we got this graph here in the link in the description as always. PundyX, you can get an annual return of 18.46%. iOS token, I've never heard of them. 14%. Cosmos, 12%. Waves, 9%. Qtum, 5. VeChain, 4. Tron, 4. NEM, 4. Neo, 2. EOS, 1.8.
Well, so, those are I think what it's projected to be over the next year.
Yes, projected yields. Yeah. This isn't saying that this is what you're going to get. This is just saying this is what you could get. This is what you potentially, like there's a coin right now called Energy, NRG. That is the ticker name for it if you want to look it up on CoinMarketCap. They are saying that you can get a 78% return rate a year right now on your crypto. Now, here's my word of caution with something like that. NRG is a legitimate coin, legitimate developer, and actually have one of the big treasury funds in all of crypto, where they're putting in like $4 million a month or something like that into this treasury just for marketing. And they did an earn drop where I think each one is going for like $5 or $6, $7 right now.
$5.03 right now.
Yeah, and they did an earn drop where you could just basically retweet like the YouTube, subscribe, and you could earn up to 100 of these for free. And so they're trying to completely just airdrop these to people to get the word out and marketing. Now, here's the catch with it. I think there's only so many in circulation, and when I say so many, it's literally only like percentage points of the total market cap that are released to the public.
Wow.
So that means when there's more of these tokens released to the market, your yield is going to go down.
Yeah.
So this is a very high risk, high reward coin. Not bashing it or anything. Like everything I've heard, this team seems to really know. They really have their stuff together. The creator was a crypto influencer on social media and found a niche. Like he found that people needed a coin like this. But yeah, so you can earn up to 78%, 76% a year of your money. What I really like about this stuff is I'm not a financial advisor, so I can't push people to invest in crypto or anything. But I feel like with percentages like this, it really encourages the normal person to invest their money. Because typically I feel like, I get the question a lot, like, how much money do I need for me to be able to invest, to get dividends and all that? And usually it's like, I'm like, how much do you have? And they're like, I have $100. I have $1,000. And in today's standards, the 1.8%, 2, 3% isn't going to do them a lot of good. It's really only doing good to the big account holders. Mm-hmm. So when you're getting these percentage points like this, I think it's really incentivizing people to put the money that they have so they can earn money on top. It just encourages investing a little bit more.
Yeah.
I don't know what you think about that, but I kind of like staking for that because I feel like it gives the normal person like us, a little bit of advantage to let our money work for us, even no matter what the amount is. If I walked into Chase and wanted to invest $100, they'd probably laugh at me, but they would take my money, but it wouldn't really do much for me over the long term.
Yeah, I'm not even sure really what they'd invest in.
Yeah.
Working at a bank, I'm kind of like, if somebody has $100, I'm like, cool, open a money market.
Yeah. So anyway, if you're interested in staking, do your own research the coin. You can go to like a staking calculator, staking dividend calculator, and it'll spit out the percentage, but do your own due diligence before you go into something like that and know the risks. A lot of these coins have nodes, master nodes, where you have to own so many. A lot of these nodes cost $10, $20, $50, $100,000 to run. And you have to lock your coins up for a certain amount of time to keep the node running to verify transactions. And so you pay $50,000 for this node and that coin drops 30%. You can't pull your money out. So you just lost however much until it goes back up. So it is a risk.
This iOS token that you said you'd never heard of. I'd never heard of it either, but I looked it up, and they are the first coin to use a consensus method called proof of believability. You ever heard of that?
Not believability. I've heard of consensus. But
so it's usually with cryptocurrencies, it's either proof of work or proof of stake.
Yeah.
And but it's closer to proof of stake, but it says each node will have a believability score, which is based off of the amount of IOST in the node, which is usually how proof of stake works. Also, number of earned Servi, which is a sub-token that you can earn from basically mining. Number of a node's positive reviews, so like and subscribe now. And then node's previous transactions. So I thought it was interesting. So basically they're rewarding you for how active you are in the space.
Yeah.
So I thought
That's cool.
I thought that was interesting. Proof
Looks
of
like
believability.
something we could break down in next week's episode. Proof of believability.
Proof of believability. Let's open
Well,
up that.
I'm sitting here reading it, and it looks like it could be something we could probably talk about for like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
Yeah.
Stay tuned next time. And then I looked up Pundy X just because I'd never heard of any of these coins. Pundy X is really cool because they've partnered with Verifone, which is a point of service company. So like pretty much any store you go into, I don't know if you've ever looked at this, but like the card reader where you insert your card, it'll say like Verifone on top. So like literally every big store.
Company.
Yeah, and every store says
pretty much
it has it
every
up
store
there.
has
It just doesn't actually use them most.
Pundy X is incredibly fast.
Yeah.
From sending the Pundy X token to each other. Yeah.
And you might be able to, it says you might be able to do that like in the store. Like you might be able to spend your Pundy X at the store using the Verifone technology. So I thought that was really cool. So that's probably a big reason why it's projected to be so successful.
It's crazy. Yeah. Well, on to a little bit more serious news. IRS expands penalties, which tax mistakes are better not to commit.
And everyone's surprised everywhere.
Basically, when Bitcoin was at just a couple cents, they're like, don't worry about it. And then
People are making money?
20,000. It's like, hey, we know how much you owe.
It reminds me of one of our favorite comedians, John Mulaney.
Oh yes.
Well, give me some money. I just gave you $10,000. Give me more money. Anyway, that's what IRS does. They take all our money.
They do.
But it goes to a good cause, I guess.
Sure. That's a whole other talk show.
Nobody correct him. Don't tweet at us or anything with any other opinions.
We're going to have to take that out.
We know this is false.
Government, if you're listening, we think the IRS does a wonderful job and you use our tax money very wisely.
I do not agree. But okay, let's
Anyways,
continue.
Tyler's opinion.
Okay. Tune in next time to hear Tyler in jail.
Where's my facts? Where's my facts? Don't care about your feelings. Cup that I had.
We'll do the next episode in the prison, and we'll have like the telephones that you talk into.
I'll do it from the prison. Yeah. That's cool.
Cool. So Nick, do you have anything to add from reading this article?
First of all, I think the way that our tax system is incredibly stupid. So, you should not have to.
What was that quote we were saying?
Okay, let's continue.
We know the amount of taxes you owe.
Yes.
So we're going to make you guess it, and if you get it wrong, we're putting you in jail. Not really, but
that's pretty much what it is.
Fined.
Or no, what it is, you have to pay someone who went to school for 4 years to learn how to do taxes. That's what. Yeah. To get money that. Keep in mind, the government owes you. Like, it was your money, and they took too much of it. And now you have to figure out how much they have to give you back.
It's like the comedian. He said, he was like, yeah, we accidentally took too much money of yours, so here's $500. Go buy yourself a new pair of sneakers.
Yeah. So I think, I just think the IRS is incredibly stupid.
So, right now I know that if you're holding short-term crypto, that's under a year. So basically, you buy crypto, you trade it. Each trade is a taxable event. I'm almost positive it's in the ballpark of around 40% per trade that is taxable. And then after that, if you hold the crypto for a year and don't trade it, it's 15%. Yeah, so it's a good incentive to hold.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you're a trader out there, just know that. Do your own due diligence. See what the tax code states. I know that the IRS is trying to come up with a better basically like regulation of the space. But
what is it? $10? I think we've talked about before. I think if you don't make anything more than $10, you don't get a 1099 from a.
Well, with Coinbase, unless they changed it, with Coinbase, if you have not made over $20,000, you will not be 1099.
That's not IRS regulation, but
No, yeah. But they're not saying that you can still request a 1099. Basically, that's just saying if you've invested or made more than $20,000 with Coinbase, they will 1099 you. But if you're under that, you have to take the responsibility to file on your own. That I know for a fact.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say that. That sounds like tax advice. Not tax advice.
Not tax.
Scratch that. That's what
I
think
that
it
I know
says.
for an opinion.
You're gonna see me in this edit. Just like as soon as I say that, I'm gonna just put a really sketchy like voiceover. Like wrong.
Wrong.
We gotta just go ahead and put like a jail cell bars up in front of us like, next week. All right.
Yeah.
Let's get serious.
But here's a part of the article that we're reading on Cointelegraph, link in below. Says a good example is an offshore account which have strong parallels to crypto tax compliance issues. Both willful and non-willful failures to report offshore accounts can be penalized. Civil penalties for non-willful violations can be $10,000 per account per year. But if the IRS says that you are willful, you can pay up to $100,000 or 50% of the amount in your account. This is for civil cases imposed in the context for regular IRS audits, even through the mail. So, and then it goes on to say if the IRS says you are willful and wants big penalties, you can pay them or push back through the IRS Appeals Division. IRS Appeals in the classic place where the IRS and taxpayers settle disputes, but sometimes either the IRS or the taxpayer won't budge. Some courts say willfulness is a solution to disobey the law, but one that can be inferred by conduct. Watch out for conduct meant to conceal. So, yeah.
So that'll be something one day. Could you imagine being able to pay your taxes in crypto?
I think one state does.
What?
Yeah. Let me try to. Y'all
look
talk
that
a little
up.
bit.
Okay. So what I
how's
was.
your day?
How's the weather out there? Let us know in the comment section what the weather's like where you're living.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, because the IRS has been sending out these letters. Basically, it's in different severities. So basically saying, hey, we know you have crypto. You should probably file. Next one is, we know you have crypto. We know you owe taxes, so you should probably file.
Ohio.
There's Ohio, and then I think there was one like Arizona or something like that along those lines. But basically, you can pay your income taxes in Bitcoin, which is pretty freaking cool.
That is cool.
And so there's a lot of people out there that are trying to live just Bitcoin lives, where they pay for their bills in crypto, their food in crypto. When they say they like crypto, they are living it out for sure. But
Man, that's interesting.
yeah.
These are
becoming accepted. It's like AT&T. You can pay for your bill in Bitcoin now.
that is interesting. I have wondered, like, every week I'm gonna try to start bringing up like a topic of from the banking side, and one next week I'm gonna try to start bringing up are banks that, and we've kind of mentioned this in the past. I think on ones that we have that haven't aired, are banks that prohibit users, employees, and people from using their Bitcoin or having Bitcoin, but then turn around and basically buy Bitcoin. So,
Chase, JP Morgan.
I'm not saying any of that.
Well,
For those who don't know, I'm a banker. I work
well,
at a bank, so I don't mention
I'm Kyle
banks.
Sieverts.
So that wasn't me. But anyway, it's just kind of interesting. And even like one that I won't mention, a very conservative bank on one side has become the first to start using blockchain technology to send transfers around the world, and even allowing you to pay off invoice numbers and
That's cool.
things like that around the world and instantly, and save a lot of money doing it. And so I'm going to start bringing that up weekly, trying to bridge the gap between the common man and trying to see how that we can try to see how we use our money now and how banks are seeing to use it in the future, which Chase has already made their, I think they used a Chase coin or something like that.
JP Morgan coin.
Yeah, I can't, was that what it was called?
Yeah.
But anyway, just those kind of things, so that this is part of the reason I joined this show. I believe, and I've said this, that Bitcoin will only be successful as the more common man and the people that have, you'd be surprised, the people that don't seem like they have a lot of money but have saved it for 40 years, is people that have the money in the bank that are willing to invest but don't know what to invest in.
Yeah.
It's those people, if we can continue to guide them and educate them on Bitcoin cryptocurrencies, it's that when you might start seeing that Bitcoin price rise.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'll start trying to bring that up every week and trying to push that a little bit more. But this week, I just wanted to throw that out there. So yeah.
Sure. Well, do we have anything else to add?
I think we're kind of good for the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Continue to look for our videos, our posts on
continue
social
to look.
media.
We're posting on YouTube right now. This should be our second episode, so we should pop up on the YouTube now.
On the YouTube?
On the YouTube.
We'll be on the line.
On the line.
Online.
But yeah, so we're going to try to do that. I was looking through YouTube. We're going to try to do some live streams here and there.
Yeah.
In the future, we'll get some equipment. Have you seen how much that equipment costs? It's
Yeah.
like $1,000 for just the mixer.
Yeah.
I was like, oh goodness.
It's kind of
get
crazy.
way bigger than this.
So we're also taking donations.
So be on the lookout. We really want this to, I wanted to start this to help people, because I've really seen a lot of people, they're coming into the crypto space and it's just so vast and people don't know, and people are losing a lot of money, and I can't tell you where to put your money, but I can definitely try to point you in the right direction and tell you where, there's some coins and some scams out there where it's, I've invested in and I lost money. I lost a lot of money, and I'm just trying to help. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this channel growing.
You mind if I throw out some of the things that I like, trying to think of things that we're going to do hopefully in the future? And this isn't anything that's going to happen next week. It might not happen a month from now. We're going to try and get some of the people that are higher up in the Bitcoin crypto world that people know and see on YouTube, and that they're just, basically famous for that. We're going to try to get them on the air with us as guests. We're going to try and go to different conferences, crypto conferences. We'll try to literally do some live streaming from there and literally talk about what's going on in the now. And so next week when you start watching us, we'll kind of be more current. From our first episode, we'll be a little late. You'll see some things that have probably come up in news over the past couple weeks.
It'll already be irrelevant by the time you hear it.
But as we start posting every week, everything will be kind of more current, and you'll see things that are new in the news. So
and I would like to do something where the donations that we get, if we do start doing that, it'll go to a fund to provide the funds for transportation for these influencers, these developers, these people, these projects, because I would love for them to be here. A lot of the guys on YouTube, they Skype, and that's great, but I think you can't match having someone here asking them questions, live streaming with them.
So for those who can't or have noticed, there is a guest spot here.
Yep.
And we did that for a reason, purposefully made that so that people could come on. Even people that might not necessarily be the most popular in the crypto world. I'm trying to find ways to even pull in an actual financial advisor, a banker, trying to find people
that view on crypto.
Yeah, trying to find somebody who's actually doing investments with the everyday person and try to get them in here and talk to us about things like that.
That's something I want different. A lot of the influencers that I love watching, it's just them and the news articles, and that's great in itself. But we would like to provide something different to where we can actually have a conversation with people while also including news and price and upcoming events. But looking forward for it to grow. Like we said, be on the lookout for videos, posts. Still struggling on Instagram. Been going through some employment stuff. So I'll try to hop back on the train, but I'll try to revamp the merchandise shop, get some cool swag in there.
Yeah.
I think Nick brought up a cool thing. We might start doing giveaways at the end of the week. So if we can do a random plug, like a comment. If you comment on, like, and subscribe and comment on these videos, it'll share, and it'll enter you into winning either a hoodie or like $25 of Bitcoin, something like that.
Can we do that? Is that allowed? Can we just give away Bitcoin?
Only if we want to.
I don't know. I don't know if there's any like crazy law about giving away Bitcoin. Like, I don't know. I'm just throwing it.
Yeah, you're already going to jail. What do you care?
I still hate the IRS.
Well, we'll stick with the hoodie for now.
If I'm going to jail, I might as well affirm it. I still hate the IRS.
Yeah. So be looking out for all that. We appreciate you all tuning in. Look out for the next episode next week. We try to record Tuesdays, and I'll try to get the videos out the next day. Can't promise anything, but I will try my best. So, again, thanks for watching this Talk Shop Crypto. We'll catch you on the flip side.
Later.
See ya.